Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to do this assignment concerning line variety. As you can see, I've got my page oriented horizontally, and I'm going to divide it down the middle as the instructions indicate, just with a line. I happen to be using a charcoal pencil. It's the kind that you unwrap. You don't have to sharpen it, so you get a nice, always have a nice tip on there. So on this half of the page, we're going to put a number of boxes here, and on this page we're going to put kind of one larger box and do some kind of a line variety thing there. So start off by just very lightly, and I may go a little darker so you can see it on the video, but make a few boxes, rectangles like this, maybe 3 across. You know, you could do the same thing all the way down if you want to. You can add a little difference. Put some that way. Maybe not too close together. I might be a little close there. But something like that. What do I have here? About 8 boxes, 9 boxes. Let me just put one more here. So something like that. Now, along each of these, I'm thinking of these as like a little track along which I'm going to put some kind of a line. I'm going to use, whatever kind of speed, different speeds and different characters to the line in order to practice seeing what kind of marks the drawing instrument can make, whether it's charcoal, pencil, or graphite. So on this one, let's just try kind of a comfortable, confident line. And if I choose to, I can go around a number of times if I like. Something like that. Now on the next one I want to do something different. Maybe let's do a slower, maybe kind of wavering line. And as I do this, I can be turning the pencil in my hand in order to get kind of a different thickness and thinness to the line. Allow it to overlap or extend out some. If it goes a little astray, it's not a big deal. Now maybe this one, I'll try to do sort of a light, fast, kind of loose line. Maybe I'll go around lots of times. Not even concerned about having sharp corners on that. Maybe on this one I'll do kind of a, I don't know, maybe a fast kind of skipping line. In other words, it's kind of a broken line. If you want to move into the box somewhat, as you draw, that's okay too. You can, you don't need to fill it in, but just kind of stay around that track, and if you move outside a little, inside a little, it's okay. The idea here is to have some fun, to try to think inventively, a different speed, different kind of character. How about a very slow, kind of hesitant line? What I want you to get from this is that whatever your attitude is at the time you're putting that mark down, if there's some fear in you or some insecurity in your mark making, that's going to show, and maybe that's what you want, but maybe it isn't. So the idea is, with practice, you'll gain confidence that you can do all sorts of different kinds of lines. So I would go ahead and I would try to think up some different things for all of these. It's not necessary for me to go and do more here. I think you get the idea. On the other half of the page, I want you to draw a larger box, and this could be darker. These little ones are more just like kind of reference lines, just to guide you. This you can make a little darker, like a picture frame, and you're going to work within that space, and you're going to use a variety of mark making, maybe taking even things you've learned from here and just apply it to this, but now you're thinking about working in an interior space, trying to put as many different kind of marks and so on into it as you can. Maybe I'll just do kind of a loose, sort of an arcing sort of thing happening in here. It's kind of gestural. Maybe up in this corner I want to do a series of straight lines. You know, something like that, composing the picture. Maybe here I'll do little shorter lines. Maybe here I'll do something that's very heavy and maybe kind of expressing some energy. I could turn this into a picture. I could turn it into a face. That's not necessarily what I want to do, but I really like this kind of wavering. It's almost like a ghostly line, so I'm just going to include some of that, and maybe I'll allow it to move around and penetrate into some of these other marks. You could do little tick marks, and they could be either very well organized, they could be somewhat disorderly, just according to your whim at the moment. Approach this intuitively and just invent and think about filling the space. Maybe allow, I could do more on this, but allow a few places around the drawing to remain white, just the white of the page, or very lightly marked.